6% of SKUs that really make up only 90% of the annual spend. We also know that about 30% or a third of the parts that are in these storerooms don't ever get used. We know that about half of the inventories that we look at today, at least half, have no movement in 3 to 4 years. There's just a lot of stuff sitting in storerooms collecting dust and idle that people don't take the time to get rid of. And, you know, it's costly because in a lot of states you're paying tax on those goods that are sitting idle. We also know that about 8% of the SKUs in all inventory have duplicates, you know, duplicate parts, and mostly because naming conventions are wrong. They don't spend enough time in governance. Multiple plants are naming and calling things different things. We also know a couple of other interesting things. On average, a new item will sit on the shelf for about 7 months before it's first used. We also know that about 30% or a third of spot buys and P card usage are for stocked items that just can't be found in the plant. You know, they're there, we just don't know where they are, and so they go out and buy them on a P card or buy them. We also know that commercially available parts or a commercial part is about 50% less expensive than an OEM part. So, you know, this stuff really adds up fast. More importantly, what we're finding is that about 1 to 2 hours of technicians' time is spent searching for parts every day. We don't get any pushback on that number either. So if you can't find it, it's really holding up the repair of that valuable asset and contributing to the excess downtime that people are finding in their plants. And this last slide says it all. You know, the inventories keep growing. They're growing about 9% on an annual basis, and the turns are less than 1. So we know it's getting more expensive, and we know it's growing, and people are concerned about the growth of inventory because they just don't have the governance in place. Okay, that's some data that we've been collecting, and I thought it'd be valuable for today's discussion.